Ambassador Una Park walked through the long hallway of Nexus Prime Station. Her black dress uniform was clean and perfect. Behind her, 4 other women from Earth followed. Hana Kim carried the important papers for today's meeting. Captain Mina. Lee wore her military uniform with pride. The other 2 officers, Sari and Nabi, stayed alert as they moved. Nexus Prime was huge. The station floated in space between 3 star systems. Many different alien species came here to talk and make deals. Today was special. Earth wanted to join the Galactic Trade Federation. This would mean humans could trade with aliens across the galaxy. Una had worked for years to get this meeting. She knew it would not be easy. Many aliens thought humans were new and weak. They looked down on Earth because humans had only been in space for a short time. But Una was ready to prove them wrong. The meeting room was massive. A round table sat in the center with chairs for different body types. Some aliens needed special seats. Others stood because they had no legs. The air smelled strange, like metal and something sweet. General Kozak from the Vextar Empire was already there. He was tall, maybe 8 feet, with gray skin and red eyes. His uniform had many medals and symbols of rank. 2 other Vextar soldiers stood behind him. They looked at the human women like they were studying insects. So, Earth finally sends someone, Kozak said. His voice was deep and rough. I expected your leaders, not their servants. Una sat down calmly. She placed her hands on the table and smiled. I am Ambassador Una Park. I speak for Earth's government in all matters. These are my team members. Kozak laughed. It was not a nice sound. Your government sends females to make important deals? How amusing. Women make up half of Earth's population, Una said. We serve in all roles, including leadership. Perhaps the Vextar Empire does things differently. Yes, we do, Kozak replied. Females know their place in our society. They serve their betters and stay quiet during important talks. Hana Kim set the trade documents on the table. She had worked months to prepare these papers. Each page showed what Earth could offer and what they wanted in return. The deals would help both sides and create peace. Kozak picked up one paper and looked at it for only a few seconds. Then he threw it back on the table. Earth has nothing we want. Your planet is small and weak. Your people are soft. Our proposal shows clear benefits for all members, Una said. Her voice stayed calm, but her eyes grew cold. Earth has resources, technology, and skilled workers. What technology? Kozak stood up. He was much taller than any human. You barely reached your own moon before we found you. Your ships are slow and simple. Your weapons are like toys. Captain Mina Lee shifted in her chair. She had fought in Earth's Space Defense Force for 10 years. She knew how good human technology really was. But Earth kept their best weapons secret. The galaxy thought humans were weak, and Earth's leaders wanted to keep it that way. Perhaps we should focus on trade goods, Hana said. She turned to a new page. Earth produces excellent food, art, and entertainment. Many species might enjoy our culture. Kozak walked around the table toward the human women. His heavy steps made loud sounds on the metal floor. Culture? What culture do weak females have to offer? The other aliens in the room watched, but said nothing. A reptile like being called Thesek led the Trade Federation. He sat quietly, waiting to see what would happen. 3 other species were also there, but they seemed afraid to speak. Human culture is rich and varied, Una said. We have thousands of years of art, music, and stories. Our food is popular wherever humans have traveled. Food? Kozak laughed again. Yes, I suppose that is what females do best. Cook and serve. Mina's hand moved slightly toward her side weapon. She stopped herself, but Kozak noticed. The little soldier wants to fight, he said. How cute. Does Earth really think females can be warriors? Captain Lee is one of our finest officers, Yuna replied. She has commanded ships and led successful missions. Kozak reached the human side of the table. He leaned down close to Yuna. His breath smelled like rotting meat. Let me explain something. About the galaxy, little female. Strong species rule. Weak species serve. Earth is weak, so Earth will serve. Earth seeks partnership, not servitude, Yuna said. She did not move away from Kozak's face. Partnership? Kozak laughed so hard that other aliens looked worried. Earth females speak of partnership? You will learn your place soon enough. He reached out and grabbed Hana's arm. His large hand wrapped around her wrist completely. Hana tried to pull away, but Kozak was too strong. Let her go, Mina said. She stood up fast, her chair falling backward. Kozak squeezed Hana's arm harder. Such pretty females. They would make good servants for Vextar. Noblesse, perhaps that can be part of our trade deal. Release her immediately, Yuna ordered. Her voice was ice-cold. Or what? Kozak asked. Will you write an angry letter? Will you cry to the Trade Federation? Mina stepped toward Kozak. I said let her go. Kozak dropped Hana's arm. Before anyone could react, his hand came across fast and hard. The slap hit Mina's face with a loud crack. She stumbled backward, blood running from her nose and mouth. The room went completely silent. Even the air recycling system seemed to stop making noise. Yuna looked at Mina's blood on the floor. Then she looked at Kozak, who was smiling. The other aliens watched, but did nothing. Station security stood in the doorway, but they did not move. Diplomatic. Immunity, one security guard said quietly. We cannot interfere in official negotiations. Kozak laughed again. Perfect. Now Earth understands how the galaxy works. Your females are weak. We will take what we want from your pathetic planet. Yuna stood up slowly. She walked to Mina and helped her clean the blood from her face. Then she turned to look at Kozak one more time. You have made a serious mistake, she said quietly. Have I? What will Earth do? Send more females to negotiate? Yuna activated her communication device. The signal would reach Earth instantly through the quantum relay system. When the connection opened, she spoke clearly so everyone could hear. Command, this is Ambassador Park. The negotiations have concluded. Protocol 7 is now in effect. Repeat, Protocol 7 is now in effect. She closed the communication and gathered her papers. This meeting is over. As the human women left the room, Kozak called after them. Run back to your weak planet, little females. When we come for Earth, remember this day. Remember who showed you your place. But Yuna did not look back. She knew something Kozak did not know, something the entire galaxy was about to learn. Protocol 7 meant war. Admiral Sujin Chang sat deep underground in a place that did not exist on any map. The command center was built inside a mountain in Korea. Hundreds of screens showed information from across the galaxy. Officers worked quietly at their stations. All of them women. The message from Nexus Prime had arrived 3 minutes ago. Protocol 7. Su Jin had hoped this day would never come. But Earth had prepared for it anyway. Ma'am, all stations are reporting ready, said Commander Yuri at the communications desk. Su Jin nodded. She was 50 years old and had spent 30 years preparing for this moment. Her gray hair was pulled back tight. Her uniform had no fancy decorations, but everyone who saw her knew she was dangerous. "Send the activation codes," she ordered. "Wake them all up." Across the galaxy, women who had lived normal lives for years suddenly received messages. A teacher on a colony world near Vextar Space checked her computer and saw 3 words. "Come home now." A merchant selling Earth goods on an alien station read the same message. A doctor working in a refugee camp looked at her communication device and smiled coldly. These women were not what they seemed. They were Earth's secret agents, placed in important positions throughout known space. Some had been waiting for 5 years. Others had been in place for 10. All of them were ready. Director Kyung-mi Baek walked into the command center. She was in charge of Earth's spy network. Her agents were so good that alien governments never suspected them. They looked like normal human women trying to make lives for themselves in the galaxy. "How many assets do we have in position?" Soo-jin asked. 47 agents in 12 star systems, Kyung-mi replied. 15 of them are inside Vextar territory. 3 are on their home world. "Good. Tell them to start gathering information. I want to know everything about Vextar military strength, ship positions, and base locations." On a space station near the Vextar border, Yun-hai worked as a cleaning woman. She had cleaned the same offices for 3 years. The aliens barely noticed her. They talked freely about military secrets while she emptied their trash. Now she activated hidden recording devices and started copying computer files. In a Vextar city, Da-eun ran a small restaurant. Military officers ate there every day. They liked her Earth food and treated her like a simple cook. They did not know she spoke their language perfectly. They did not know she remembered every word they said about troop movements and battle plans. Back on Earth, Dr. Yoon-hee Choi opened the doors to Laboratory 7. This place was hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean. The scientists who worked here had been developing weapons in secret for 20 years. The galaxy thought Earth had only basic technology. They were very wrong. "Project Silent Storm is ready for deployment," Dr. Choi reported to Admiral Chang through a secure channel. "All ships and weapons have passed final testing." The Silent Storm project was Earth's greatest secret. Human scientists had studied alien technology captured from crashed ships and failed invasions. They learned how alien sensors worked, how their shields operated, and how their weapons functioned. Then they built better versions. Earth's new ships could not be detected by alien scanners. Their weapons could pass through any known shield system. Their armor could survive attacks that would destroy alien vessels. But the most important part was that they looked like normal Earth ships on the outside. General Bo-Ram Shin entered the underground complex. She was Earth's highest military commander. Every soldier in Earth's forces answered to her. She was also one of the few people who knew the whole truth about humanity's real strength. "The Global Defense Council is meeting now," she told Admiral Chang. "They want to know our response to the incident." "What do the politicians want to do?" Soo-jin asked. "File a complaint. Maybe stop trading with the Vextar Empire. Some of them want to give a strong speech at the next Galactic Council meeting." Soo-jin laughed, but it was not a happy sound. Politicians always think words will solve everything. "Not this time," Bo-Ram said. "The president has given you full authority. No political interference, no limitations. Handle this your way." Around the galaxy, alien species watched their communication networks. They expected Earth to make noise about the incident. They thought humans would complain and demand apologies. Some aliens felt sorry for Earth. Others thought Kozak had been too harsh. But they all expected the same thing: angry words and empty threats. Instead, Earth went completely silent. Every human ship stopped communicating. Every human colony stopped sending messages. Every human trader stopped answering calls. Earth's embassies across the galaxy shut down. It was like humanity had simply disappeared. On the Vextar homeworld, General Tarkus received reports about Earth's silence. He was Kozak's superior and was angry about the incident, not because Kozak had hurt the human women, but because it might cause political problems. "Sir, Earth has stopped all communication," his aide reported. "No ships, no messages, nothing." "Good," Tarkus said. Maybe they learned their lesson. Weak species should stay quiet. But some aliens were worried. The Thesek who led the Trade Federation knew more about humans than most. He had read reports about human history. Humans fought many wars on their own planet. They were very good at killing each other. Maybe they would be good at killing aliens too. "Send a message to all member species," Thesek ordered his staff. "Recommend caution when dealing with human space." In the hidden command center on Earth, Admiral Chang watched status reports from across the galaxy. Her agents were sending information about Vextar military positions. Her scientists were loading weapons onto invisible ships. Her officers were planning attacks that the galaxy had never seen before. "Ma'am, we have a problem," Commander Yuri announced. "Vextar ships are attacking human colonies near their border. 3 settlements have been hit." Sujin's expression did not change. She had expected this. Kozak would see Earth's silence as weakness. He would try to take advantage of it. "Casualties?" she asked. 14 dead, 30 wounded. The colonists are asking for help." "Tell them help is coming," Sujin said, "but not the kind they expect." She turned to the main display screen. It showed a map of the galaxy with human and alien positions marked in different colors. Soon, many of those alien positions would disappear. "Begin Phase 1, she ordered. "Send the hunters." In secret bases across Earth's solar system, ships that did not officially exist started their engines. These vessels had been built in hidden factories using materials that came from asteroid mines no one knew about. They were crewed by pilots who had trained for years to fight aliens. Captain Haewon Jung climbed into her ship, the Retribution. It was painted black and covered with special materials that made it invisible to alien sensors. Her crew was 12 women who had volunteered for the most dangerous mission in human history. "All systems ready, Captain," reported her weapons officer, Lieutenant Sujin. "Set course for Vextar Patrol Route 7, Haewon ordered. "Time to begin the hunt." The Retribution left Earth's solar system silently. Behind it, 29 other invisible ships spread out across space. They were heading to positions where Vextar ships traveled regularly. The aliens would never see them coming. On Nexus Prime Station, the aliens who had watched the incident were starting to worry. Earth's silence was not normal. Humans usually made a lot of noise when they were angry. This quiet was different. It felt dangerous. Kozak was still celebrating. He told everyone who would listen about how he had put the Earth females in their place. He did not notice that some aliens moved away when he talked. He did not see the worried looks they gave each other. But General Tarkus was beginning to understand that something was wrong. In his long military career, he had learned to recognize when an enemy was preparing for war. Earth's silence felt like the calm before a storm. "Double our patrols," he ordered. and tell our commanders to be ready for anything." It was too late. The hunters were already moving through space, invisible and deadly. The galaxy was about to learn that human females were much more dangerous than anyone had imagined. Captain Haewon Young watched the Vextar patrol ship through her invisible vessel's sensors. The alien cruiser was huge, 3 times larger than her ship. It carried 200 soldiers and enough weapons to destroy a small moon. The aliens inside felt safe and strong. They were wrong. "Target locked," whispered Lieutenant Sujin from the weapons station. "Shall I disable their engines?" "No," Haewon replied quietly. "Full capture protocol. We need them alive for questioning." The Retribution moved closer to the Vextar ship, without making a sound. Earth's technology made it impossible for alien sensors to detect them. The enemy crew had no idea death was floating next to them in the darkness of space. Haewon activated the capture beam. It was a new weapon that Dr. Yoon-hee Choi had designed specifically for this mission. The beam passed through the Vextar, ship's shields like they were not there. Inside the enemy vessel, every alien suddenly fell unconscious. "Transport complete," Sujin reported. "All crew members are now in our holding cells." The Vextar ship floated empty in space. Haewon ordered her crew to place a special message inside the vessel. They burned Korean letters into the metal walls, using plasma torches. The message was simple. "You touched our sister." Then they pushed the empty ship toward the nearest Vextar base and disappeared back into space. This scene repeated across Vextar territory. Earth's invisible hunters found patrol ships, supply vessels, and transport craft. Each alien crew vanished without sending a distress signal. Each empty ship was found with the same message burned into its walls. General Tarkus received the first report 3 days after Earth went silent. His aide, Commander Nexal, brought him disturbing news. "Sir, we have lost contact with Patrol Group 7, Nexal said. "Their ships were found floating near the Kepler system." "Floating? What do you mean floating?" "Empty, sir. No crew, no signs of battle, no damage to the ships. But there was a message burned into the walls." Tarkus read the translation of the Korean words. His red eyes narrowed with anger and confusion. "What does this mean? Who touched whose sister?" "We believe it refers to the incident at Nexus Prime, sir. When General Kozak struck the human female." Tarkus threw the report across his office. "Impossible. Earth does not have the technology to capture our ships. They barely have space travel." But more reports kept coming. Every day, another patrol group disappeared. Supply convoys vanished without a trace. Communication relays went silent. The Vextar Empire was being picked apart piece by piece, and they could not see who was doing it. On the Vextar homeworld, Lieutenant Na Yun-oh moved through the capital city like a ghost. She wore a device that bent light around her body, making her nearly invisible. Earth's spies had been studying this planet for years. They knew every building, every street, every security system. Na Yun entered the Planetary Defense Headquarters through a ventilation shaft. Inside, she planted listening devices and copied computer files. The aliens who worked there never knew she was among them. She learned about secret military bases, weapon storage facilities, and the locations of important leaders. While Na-un gathered intelligence, Commander In-hai Park flew her experimental fighter through the outer edge of the Vextar system. Her ship, the Fury, could do things that should have been impossible. It could phase through solid matter for short periods. It could change direction instantly without slowing down. It could fire weapons that appeared from nowhere. In High's squadron was called the Vengeful Daughters. 12 women flying ships that seemed to break the laws of physics. They struck at Vextar military targets and vanished before anyone could respond. Space stations exploded, weapon platforms disappeared, defense satellites simply stopped working. The Galactic Council tried to understand what was happening. Chancellor Thesek called an emergency meeting. Representatives from dozens of alien species gathered to discuss the mysterious attacks on Vextar forces. General Tarkus, Thesek said, your reports claim that ships are disappearing without explanation. Do you have any evidence of who is responsible? Tarkus stood before the council, his massive frame shaking with rage. It must be Earth. They are the only ones with a reason to attack us. But, General, said Ambassador Krell from the Zephyrian Union, our intelligence reports show that Earth has no military ships in your territory. In fact, Earth appears to have no military ships at all. This was true. Every alien spy watching. Earth's solar system saw only civilian vessels and old defensive platforms. They could not detect the invisible fleet that was systematically destroying Vextar power. Then who is doing this? Tarkus demanded. Our ships do not just disappear. Perhaps, Thesek suggested carefully, you should consider apologizing to Earth for the incident at Nexus Prime. Make peace before this situation gets worse. Tarkus laughed bitterly. Apologize to weak humans? Never. We will find whoever is attacking us and crush them. But the attacks continued to get worse. Entire military bases were found empty, with all personnel gone and the same Korean message burned into every surface. Space docks exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Vextar admirals woke up to find their fleets reduced to floating wreckage. Captain, Haewon Young led a special mission to capture a Vextar general. They found Admiral Corvin commanding a battle group near the Empire's border. His flagship was the size of a city and carried 5,000 soldiers. The Retribution approached silently with 2 other invisible ships. They used the capture beam on the entire battle group at once. 5,000 Vextar soldiers fell unconscious instantly. Haewon's team transported Admiral Corvin to their ship for questioning. When Corvin woke up in the Earthship's holding cell, he could not believe what he saw. 3 human women stood before him. They looked small and weak compared to his massive frame. But somehow, they had captured his entire fleet without firing a shot. Impossible, he whispered. Humans cannot do this. You are wrong, Haewon said, simply. We can do much more than you imagine. What do you want? Information. Tell us about your military positions, your secret bases, your weapons supplies. Corvin tried to laugh, but fear made his voice shake. I will tell you nothing, weak female. Haewon nodded to Lieutenant Soo-jin, who activated a display screen. It showed live footage from inside Corvin's empty flagship. Human soldiers were moving through the corridors, placing explosive charges on critical systems. Your choice, Haewon said. Talk, or watch us destroy everything you spent your life building. Corvin's resistance crumbled. He told them everything he knew about Vextar military secrets. When the questioning was over, they left him unconscious in an escape pod near a trading station. His empty ships were found later with the Korean message, burned deeper and larger than before. Back on the Vextar homeworld, General Tarkus faced his worst nightmare. Half of his empire's military had disappeared. The other half was too scared to leave port. Patrol groups refused to fly alone. Supply. Convoys demanded massive escorts. Military commanders sent panicked reports about ghost ships and impossible attacks. Sir, Commander Nexall said nervously, perhaps we should consider the Council's suggestion. Maybe we should apologize to Earth. Never! Tarkus roared. The Vextar Empire does not apologize to inferior species. But, sir, at this rate we will have no empire left to defend. Tarkus stared at the tactical display showing his remaining forces. Red symbols marked missing ships and destroyed bases. The pattern looked like a disease spreading across Vextar space, consuming everything in its path. Find them, he ordered. I do not care what it costs. Find these ghost ships and destroy them. But finding Earth's invisible hunters was impossible. They struck without warning and vanished without a trace. They moved through space like legends, like nightmares, like forces of nature that could not be stopped or reasoned with. The galaxy watched in growing fear as one of its most powerful empires slowly disappeared. Other alien species began to wonder, if this could happen to the mighty Vexitar, what would happen to them if they crossed Earth? The smart ones started sending apology messages to the silent planet just in case. General Tarkus stood in his war room, staring at a map that showed his crumbling empire. Red marks covered half the display. Each mark was a missing ship, a destroyed base, or a dead patrol group. In 2 weeks, the mysterious attacks had crippled his military forces. Enough, he growled to his remaining officers. We end this now. Gather every ship we have left, every cruiser, every destroyer, every fighter. We attack Earth directly. Commander Nexall looked worried. Sir, our intelligence shows that Earth has strong defenses around their solar system. Perhaps a smaller force would be wiser. No. I want overwhelming power. Earth will see our full might and surrender immediately. When they give us whoever has been attacking our ships, I will decide if their planet lives or dies. Tarkus was desperate. His empire was falling apart. Other alien species were starting to question Vextar's strength. Some had even stopped paying tribute. If he could crush Earth quickly, it would show the galaxy that the Vextar Empire was still powerful. The massive fleet assembled in deep space. 2,000 ships of every size and type. Battleships that could destroy planets. Carriers full of fighter craft. Troop transports carrying invasion armies. It was the largest military force the Vextar had ever gathered. Sir, his navigation officer reported, the fleet is ready. Course set for Earth's solar system. Begin the attack, Tarkus ordered. Today, humanity learns what happens when weak species challenge their betters. Admiral Su-Jin Chang watched the approaching Vextar fleet from her command center deep under Earth. Every screen showed the enemy ships moving toward humanity's home. She had been waiting for this moment. Ma'am, Commander Yuri reported, the Vextar fleet will reach our outer defenses in 6 hours. Perfect, Su-Jin replied calmly. Are all our assets in position? Yes, ma'am. The trap is ready. What the Vextar did not know was that Earth's entire solar system had been turned into the galaxy's most sophisticated killing field. For 20 years, human engineers had been building hidden weapons platforms, invisible minefields, and secret military bases. From the outside, it looked like a normal solar system with basic defenses. The reality was very different. Captain Jiwoo Song commanded the hidden fortress called Luna Station. It looked like a simple moon base from the outside. Inside, it held enough firepower to destroy a small fleet. 29 other hidden stations waited throughout the solar system. All stations report ready, Jiwoo announced. Weapons charged, shields up, crews at battle stations. The Vextar fleet entered Earth's solar system expecting an easy victory. They saw the defensive platforms humanity had built around their planets. The aliens counted them and smiled. Earth had maybe 50 defensive stations. The Vextar had 2,000 ships. This would be simple. Deploy for planetary bombardment, Tarkus ordered. I want Earth's cities burning within the hour. His fleet spread out in attack formation. They moved past the outer planets, past the asteroid belt, heading straight for Earth. Their scanners showed no hidden threats, no secret weapons, just a weak planet protected by outdated technology. They were flying into the most sophisticated trap in galactic history. Admiral Chang waited until the enemy fleet was exactly where she wanted them. Then she spoke one word into her communication system. Now. Across the solar system, hidden stations suddenly appeared. They had been cloaked by technology the galaxy had never seen. 30 massive fortresses materialized around the Vextar, fleet-like ghosts becoming solid. "What is this?" Tarkus screamed as his sensors detected the new threats. "Where did those stations come from?" Before anyone could answer, the stations opened fire. Beams of pure energy lanced through space, striking Vextar ships with impossible accuracy. The weapons passed through alien shields like they were made of paper. Battleships that had survived 100 wars exploded in seconds. Captain Yejin Han commanded the battlecruiser Silent Thunder. Her ship looked like an ordinary Earth vessel from the outside. Inside, it carried weapons that could tear, holes in reality itself. She led a squadron of 12 ships that appeared normal but fought like demons. "Engage the enemy," Yejin ordered. "Show them what Earth's daughters can do." Her ships moved in ways that violated physics. They split apart and reformed. They disappeared and reappeared behind enemy vessels. They fired weapons that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The Vextar fleet tried to fight back, but their weapons could not lock on to the human ships. Their targeting systems showed nothing, while Earth vessels appeared and vanished like nightmares. Explosions lit up space as alien ships died by the hundreds. Commander Sun Hee Kang led the fighter squadrons. Her pilots flew ships that moved faster than light for short bursts. They appeared inside enemy formations, destroyed multiple targets, and vanished before return fire could reach them. "Target their command ships," Sun Hee ordered her pilots. "Cut off their communications." The fighters struck like lightning. Vextar command vessels exploded in brilliant flashes. Without coordination, the alien fleet began to fall apart. Ships crashed into each other. Panic spread through their ranks. Orders became screams. Colonel Min Seo Yoon commanded the ground. Forces waiting on what the Vextar thought was Earth's surface. In reality, they had landed on a military installation disguised as a planet. The civilians they encountered were all highly trained soldiers in disguise. When Vextar troops landed, they found themselves in a maze of kill zones and traps. Every building was a fortress. Every street was a shooting gallery. The humans, they thought were helpless, turned out to be some of the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy. "Welcome to Earth," Mincio said over her communication system as her soldiers surrounded the confused invaders. "Your mistake was thinking we were weak. In space, the battle was becoming a massacre. Half the Vextar fleet was already destroyed. The other half was trying desperately to escape, but Earth's ships had surrounded them completely. General Tarkus watched in horror from his flagship as his mighty armada was torn apart. His officers screamed reports that made no sense. Ships that should not exist. Weapons that ignored physical laws. Humans who fought like supernatural beings. "Impossible," he whispered. "This is impossible. Earth is weak. Humans are primitive." A communication channel opened on his main screen. Admiral Sujin Chang appeared, her cold eyes staring directly at him. She sat in her command chair like a queen on her throne. "General, Tarkus," she said calmly, "you made one mistake. You assumed we were prey because we chose diplomacy first. You forgot that the most dangerous predator is the one that gives you a chance to walk away." "How?" Tarkus gasped. "How do you have this technology? Your species is only a few hundred years old." "Human females have been protecting their families for millions of years," Sujin replied. "We learned to be patient. We learned to plan. We learned to strike when our enemies least expected it." Around his flagship, the last Vextar ships exploded. In brilliant flames, escape pods launched desperately, but they were captured by invisible Earth vessels. Soon, Tarkus would be alone in the darkness of space. "This is impossible," he repeated. "The galaxy will not stand for this. Other species will unite against Earth." Sujin smiled, and it was colder than the space between stars. "Other species are already sending us apology messages. They understand what you never did. Human females do not just give life, we protect it. And when someone threatens what we protect, we become something your species never evolved to face." Tarkus's flagship shuddered as Earth weapons targeted its engines. He was trapped, helpless, watching his empire burn around him. "Please," he whispered. "Mercy." "You showed no mercy to our sisters," Sujin replied, "but we are not like you. You will live to deliver a message to the galaxy." The Admiral's image disappeared. Moments later, Earth ships captured Tarkus's flagship. The few surviving Vextar vessels were allowed to escape, carrying word of their defeat back to their home world. The battle was over. The galaxy's most powerful empire had been completely destroyed in less than 3 hours. Earth had proven that humanity was not weak, not primitive, and definitely not helpless. The message was clear. Never cross Earth's daughters. The consequences would be swift, terrible, and absolute. The single surviving Vextar ship limped through space toward their home world. General Tarkus sat in his damaged command chair, staring at nothing. His mighty fleet was gone. 2,000 ships reduced to floating wreckage in a few hours. The impossible had happened. Earth had crushed the Vextar Empire like an insect. "Sir," his communications officer whispered, "we are receiving surrender requests from our remaining colonies. They want to join Earth's protection." Tarkus said nothing. What could he say? His empire was finished. Word of the defeat would spread across the galaxy in days. Other species would smell weakness and move in like scavengers. The Vextar race would be lucky to survive with a single world. When the damaged ship reached the Vextar homeworld, crowds gathered to see the returning heroes. They expected to hear stories of Earth's destruction. Instead, they watched a broken general stumble from his ship, mumbling about ghost vessels and impossible weapons. The recordings of the battle spread through the galactic communication networks like wildfire. Alien species across known space watched in stunned silence as Earth's forces destroyed the mighty Vextar armada. The footage showed human ships doing things that should have been impossible, weapons that ignored shields, vessels that appeared and vanished at will, tactics that seemed to bend reality itself. Chancellor Thesek called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. Representatives from 47 species gathered on Nexus Prime Station. The same meeting room where General Kozak had struck Captain Mina Lee was now filled with terrified aliens. "We must address the Earth situation immediately," Thesek announced. "Their display of force has created panic across the galaxy." Ambassador Krell from the Zephyrian Union spoke first. Our intelligence estimates suggest that Earth has been hiding their true capabilities for decades. The question is, what do they want? Revenge, muttered the Altarian delegate. They want revenge for the insult to their females. As if summoned. By their words, the main doors opened. Ambassador Una Park walked into the chamber, followed by Captain Mina Lee and 3 other human women. But something was different now. The aliens who had barely noticed them before now watched with fear and respect. Una took her place at the speaker's podium. She looked exactly the same as before, but now every alien in the room knew what humanity was capable of. Her quiet dignity seemed more dangerous than any weapon. "Members of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice calm and clear. 3 weeks ago, General Kozak made a fundamental error in judgment. He believed that because we chose diplomacy, first, we were weak. He forgot that sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one that gives you a chance to walk away. The chamber was completely silent. Even the air recycling systems seemed quieter than usual. "Humanity has always preferred peace to war," Una continued. "We came to the galaxy seeking trade and friendship. We offered our culture, our resources, and our knowledge freely. In return, we asked only for respect and fair treatment, Chancellor." Thesek leaned forward nervously. "Ambassador Park, the Council deeply regrets the incident with General Kozak. We are prepared to offer formal apologies and compensation for the injuries to your people." Una's expression did not change. "The time for apologies has passed, Chancellor. General Kozak and his empire have learned the consequences of their actions. Now the galaxy must learn a new rule." Admiral Sujin Chang entered the chamber through a side door. She wore her full military uniform, and every alien present recognized her from the battle recordings. Her cold eyes swept across the assembled. Delegates and several species representatives visibly shrank in their seats. "Members of the Council," Sujin said, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had just destroyed the galaxy's most powerful empire. "Let me explain something about human females that your species clearly did not understand." She activated a holographic display that showed images of Earth's history, mothers protecting their children, female warriors defending their homes, women leading armies and nations. "Human females are not weak," Sujin continued. "We are the guardians of our species. We give life, and we protect that life with everything we have. For millions of years, we have been the ones who stood between our families and extinction." The display showed the battle against the Vextar fleet. Alien delegates watched in fascination and terror as human ships performed impossible maneuvers and unleashed devastating weapons. "You thought we were prey because we chose patience over aggression," Sujin explained. "You mistook our preference for peace as an inability to fight. That was your mistake." Ambassador Una stepped forward, again. "The Galactic Council will now establish a new rule. It will be known as Rule Number 1, and it will supersede all other regulations." She paused, letting the tension build. Every alien in the room waited for her next words. "Under no circumstances will any species, government, or individual threaten, harm, or disrespect human females. Violation of this rule will result in consequences that the galaxy is neither equipped to understand nor survive." Chancellor Thesek's reptilian features showed confusion. "Ambassador, surely you do not expect us to create laws specifically protecting one gender of one species." Director Kyungmi Baek entered the chamber, followed by 6 other women. Each one commanded a different aspect of Earth's hidden military forces. Together, they represented power that the galaxy was only beginning to understand. "You misunderstand, Chancellor," Kyung-mi said smoothly. "This is not a request. This is a statement of fact. The rule already exists. We are simply informing you of it." The holographic display changed to show a star map of the galaxy. Green dots marked human colonies and trading posts. Blue dots showed alien worlds that had sent apology messages to Earth. Red dots marked Vextar territory, which was now mostly empty space. "As of today," Yuna announced, 43 species have formally apologized for their government's failure to prevent the attack on our delegation. They have also requested Earth's protection from potential Vextar retaliation. "Protection?" Thesek asked weakly. "Yes," Admiral Chang replied. "It seems that many species now understand the value of human friendship. They would rather have us as allies than enemies." Captain Mina Lee stepped forward. The bandages from Kozak's attack were gone, but a small scar remained on her cheek. She touched it lightly as she spoke. General Kozak asked if Earth really thought females could be warriors, she said. "I believe we have answered that question thoroughly." The alien delegates looked at each other nervously. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted completely in just 3 weeks. Earth was no longer a minor species seeking membership. They were now the dominant military force, and everyone knew it. "What about General Kozak himself?" asked the Centaurian representative. "Will he face justice for his crimes?" Yuna smiled, and several aliens shivered at the expression. "General Kozak has been found in his private chambers on the Vextar homeworld. He is alive but unable to speak or move. Our medical experts believe he will recover, but he may never be quite the same." "How did you reach him?" Thesek asked. "The Vextar homeworld is heavily defended." "Was heavily defended," Director Kyung-mi corrected. "Earth's agents have been operating throughout Vextar space for years. Kozak was never as safe as he believed." The truth was even more disturbing than they imagined. Lieutenant Na Yun-oh had infiltrated Kozak's personal residence and left him with a simple note written in Korean, "This is mercy." The general would live, but he would remember every day what happened when someone crossed Earth's daughters. "The Galactic Council has a choice," Admiral Chang announced. "You can accept humanity as an equal partner in galactic affairs, with full representation and voting rights, or you can join the Vextar Empire in the history books." The vote was unanimous. Earth was granted not just membership in the Galactic Council, but a permanent seat on the ruling committee. They were also given authority to investigate and punish any species that violated the new Rule Number 1. As the session ended, alien delegates approached the human women with nervous respect. They offered trade agreements, military alliances, and cultural exchanges. Some species asked if they could send their own daughters to train with Earth's military academies. Ambassador Yuna accepted their offers graciously, but she made sure each alien understood the new reality. Earth had tried to join the galaxy as friends. Now they ruled it as protectors. Director Kyung-mi delivered the final message to her network of agents across known space. Phase 1 is complete. The galaxy wanted to know what human females are capable of. Now they know, and they will. Never forget. The Vextar Empire, once the most feared force in the galaxy, now controlled only their homeworld. They served as a permanent reminder to every species. Earth's daughters were not to be crossed. General Tarkus, broken and defeated, spent his remaining years writing warnings that no one needed to read. Every alien child learned the story of The day the galaxy discovered that human females were the most dangerous force in the universe. Rule number 1 became the foundation of galactic law. It was carved into monuments, taught in schools, and remembered in songs. The words were simple, but their meaning was absolute. Never cross Earth's females. They are patient until they are not. They are peaceful until they choose war. And when they choose war.